Excuse me. They say you can imitate anybody. Even their voice. Even their voice. Then why not stay in disguise all the time? You know? Look like everyone else.
Because we shouldn't have to.
What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television, and I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing all that beautiful YouTube stuff. It genuinely gets us into the YouTube algorithm so our channel, our community can grow. It may say Tully Television on the header, but it really is a joint effort for everybody here. We're going to be getting into a comic book review today, and it's Uncanny Spiderman number 4 in the Fall of X story. This is the cover I got. This is the one I preferred and could afford. Written by Cy Spurrier. Artist is Lee Garbett. The colorist is Matt Miller, and for this particular cover is Yin, Nitro, and Lee Garbett. Now, when I did my review for X-Men Origin Blue, I had mentioned about how the end of the issue, I thought it was Uncanny Spider-Man 3, that between 3 and 4 that issue took place, but it actually takes place. And near the end of this issue, it happens between panels. So basically, it's issue 4 here, and then somewhere in the middle of this issue, near the end, is where X-Men Blue Origins happens, and then we pick up at the end of Uncanny Spider-Man number 4. But it's what happens in that time will be seen in X-Men Blue Origins. But basically, in this particular issue, we get a guest starring of Spider-Man here, who's trying to save a pizza delivery guy who the crowd thinks that he is a mutant. The Sentinels, Orcus, all these people are riling people up, mentioning about how the mutant threat is such a thing to worry about. Now they're choosing people indiscriminately and assuming they're mutants and stuff. And Spider-Man here is trying to convince people. He's even trying to get in the way of the Stark Sentinel there. And then we see the little Bamf talking to Nightcrawler about helping out Spider-Man or whatever. And he says pretty much that looks like he's got it. In this issue, Nightcrawler is very irritable, very unsure about what his path is supposed to be and where it's supposed to go from here on out. Now, what will happen with him and his view of Xaviers' dream after this series will be another thing to explore. But basically, the Stark Sentinel that came had said that there's no X gene in that particular pizza boy, but it did recognize a genetic anomaly in Spider-Man. Spider-Man is not technically human, a mutant. He is human. He's not technically a mutant. He had gotten his powers through an outside source. The difference between a mutant and that type of scenario is that mutants are born with their power, and the powers are triggered by a traumatic event during puberty, usually. In the comic books, obviously. People like Spider-Man or Captain America who got their powers through an outside source are called more human mutates, like the Incredible Hulk. And then people like Thor, they're just a god, you know. But now that Peter Parker's in a little bit of trouble, that's when Nightcrawler tries to jump in, but we get Mystique here popping up out of the blue with a rocket launcher and attacks the Sentinel, basically. And Peter Parker winds up saving the Pizza Boy, and him and Nightcrawler talk. Nightcrawler basically explains how Mystique can keep things inside of her body, and that's how she was able to keep the bazooka in herself, I guess. And he also kind of tells him that, that's my mom, so I have to go get going. And so he goes and chases after her to try to calm her down. And we see that Silver Sable is watching this whole thing. Vulture comes in and catches her spying on Nightcrawler and realizes that pretty much it's become known now that Silver Sable is secretly meeting with Nightcrawler for their little sexual rendezvous here, and eventually that's going to be used against her by one of her own people. Here they talk about how she's going to try to stick to the contract but not want to kill him because she's realizing that he's not who Orcus is saying, but at the same time she has to worry about her own people of her nation. These mercenary jobs is how her nation survives, because that's why she's charged so many millions of dollars for these wet work operations, so the people of her nation can survive. But she's also a woman with a heart and has fallen in love in a way with Kurt Wagner here. But her teammate here realizes what has been going on and forces her to make a choice between Nightcrawler or her country. And basically she's going to choose her country. Now here at the end, Nightcrawler goes to confront Mystique, and when they say and they do talk, that's when the X-Men Blue Origin story happens after that panel. But then we pick back up with this panel. Now from this panel on will be after what happens in X-Men Blue Origin, and it's pretty much Kurt going back to Silver Sable to talk to her about what has happened. And she has her team tase him and take him out and eventually imprison him to possibly do whatever experiments that the Vulture wants to do on him. And she does apologize to him, but she also makes him aware that her nation's survival comes above even her own heart, in a way. Now, I heard an interesting theory that at this particular juncture, at the end of this issue, could very well be Mystique pretending to be Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler coming in as himself at the end of the day to save his mother, to make sure that Silver Sable gets paid, to defeat the Vulture and his hounds, and see where it goes from there. We may even learn if Legion is the Banff or not, the little creature that's been his conscience. It seems with some of the things he's said that it seems to be definitely a connection on what they've been trying to do over the last couple years in the X-Men titles, with the mini-series and the 10-issue series, the one-shots, all this stuff. The last 2 years of Nightcrawler and Legion have been them building a bond to try to make Mutantkind better, and Legion has went away as a reminder to try to toughen himself up to fight Nimrod. And so basically Nightcrawler and Legion both put themselves in self-isolation away from the rest of the X-Men, one to build his skills up and one to clear his name. And we'll see if they are able to come back together and be the duo of Legion and Nightcrawler that we've grown to love over the last couple of years, or at least I have. I've really enjoyed that friendship between the two of them. You let me know what you think down below, how this series is going to end. There's only one more issue of this. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I've enjoyed the art. I've enjoyed the perspective of Kurt. Not sure if he wants to continue fighting for only the mutant dream, but just for everybody. He is at a crossroad in his life, and I like to see where that takes him. But that's my opinion. You let me know what you think down below. And until next time, peace, Snookums.